There is a specific kind of heaviness that settles in the chest when you realize something precious is gone forever. It's not just a thought, it is a physical weight. Scientists call it Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, or broken heart syndrome, where the heart muscle literally stuns itself in reaction to grief. You feel it in your throat, you feel it in the pit of your stomach. It's the sensation of being scattered, like a glass vase dropped on a concrete floor. Fragments of who you used to be are lying everywhere, and you have zero idea how to glue them back together. Maybe it was a betrayal that turned your reality upside down. Maybe it was a quiet failure that eroded your confidence over years. Or maybe it is just the crushing exhaustion of trying to be enough in a world that always demands more. You've probably tried the standard advice. You've tried to stay positive. You've tried to distract yourself. You've tried to time box your grief. But late at night, when the house is quiet, that hum of pain is still there, vibrating just beneath your skin. It feels terminal. It feels like this is just who you are now. But what if I told you that this shattering feeling isn't the end of the story? What if it is actually a prerequisite for the beginning? What if the only way to find the part of you that is unbreakable is to let the breakable parts fall away? There is an ancient, radical conversation that addresses this exact moment of despair. It doesn't offer a bandage. It offers a complete surgical reconstruction of your reality. We are talking about the insights of Krishna, and he suggests that while pain is inevitable, the suffering you are drowning in is actually optional. This isn't just religious philosophy. It is a psychological masterclass in resilience. So let's unpack this. Let's find the off switch for your suffering. To fix a problem, you first have to diagnose it correctly. And most of us are misdiagnosing our pain every single day. We think we are hurting because we lost a job, or a partner left, or we failed a test. But Krishna, speaking in the Bhagavad Gita, looks at the warrior Arjuna, who is having a full-blown panic attack on a battlefield, and gives a completely different diagnosis. Arjuna is shaking, he's dropping his bow, he is paralyzed by grief, and Krishna doesn't tell him to man up, he tells him to wake up. Krishna pinpoints the root cause of the wound: mistaken identity. You are in pain because you have anchored your entire sense of self to things that are, by their very nature, temporary. You have built your house on a sand dune, and now you are shocked that the tide has come in. We identify with our roles. I am a husband. I am a CEO. I am a success. But these are just costumes. When the costume is ripped away, we feel like we are dying. This attachment creates a toxic cycle of kama, desire, and krodha, ang. We desire the temporary thing to last forever. It doesn't. And then we rage against the universe. It's like staring at your reflection in a pond during a storm. The water is churning, the image is distorted and broken, and you panic because you think you are broken. But you aren't the reflection. You are the one standing on the bank watching the water. This leads us to the most powerful, mind-bending concept in Krishna's toolkit: the Atman, the observer. If you aren't your body, which gets sick and ages, and you aren't your mind, which is a chaotic factory of anxiety, then who are you? Krishna tells Arjuna, for the soul, there is neither birth nor death. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Pause on that. Really let that land. There is a core frequency within you that has never been hurt. It was there before your trauma. It is there during your trauma, and it will be there after your trauma is just a memory. It cannot be cut by weapons, burned by fire, or withered by the wind. Krishna is teaching us to develop witness consciousness. Imagine you are sitting by a raging river. The water is filled with debris, branches, mud, garbage. These are your thoughts and emotions. Most of us jump into the river and get smashed against the rocks. We say, I am angry. We merge with the debris. Krishna invites you to climb out of the river and sit on the bank. Watch the anger float by. Say to yourself, I am noticing a feeling of anger. I am witnessing a wave of sadness. That tiny linguistic shift creates a massive neurological distance. You are no longer the storm, you are the sky that holds the storm. The sky is never damaged by the thunder. It just provides the space for it to happen. That is your Atman. But knowing this intellectually is one thing. Living it when your world is on fire is another. This is where we run into our biggest barrier, control. When we are hurt, we tighten up. We white-knuckle the steering wheel of life, trying to force people to love us, force careers to work out, force the future to be safe. It is exhausting, and it never works. Krishna proposes a counter-intuitive strategy, Sharanagati, radical surrender. Now, in the West, we hear surrender and we think defeat. We think of waving a white flag. But in this context, surrender is a power move. It is the sophisticated realization that you are not the general of the universe. You are a soldier in a much larger campaign. Krishna says, abandon all varieties of dharma and just surrender unto me. Do not fear. He is effectively saying, do your work. Hustle. Try your hardest. But hand over the anxiety about the results to me. It is the ultimate relief. It's the feeling of finally putting down a 100-pound backpack you've been carrying for 20 years. You stop trying to manipulate outcomes. You plant the seed, you water the soil, and then you trust the laws of nature to grow the tree. You trust that even your losses are course corrections designed by a higher intelligence. This isn't passivity, it's active trust. It's knowing that if you are steering the chariot, you might crash. But if you let the divine take the reins, you can enjoy the ride. But what do we do with all that raw, bleeding emotion while we wait for peace? You can't just bottle it up. Physics tells us energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Krishna teaches the alchemy of the heart, known as bhakti yoga. This is emotional redirection. Usually, we pour our intense emotions into fallible humans. We expect our partner to be our God, our savior, our everything. And when they fail because they are human, we are crushed. Bhakti Yoga takes that raw, intense capability for love and aims it at the divine. You take your grief and you turn it into a prayer. You take your anger and turn it into a fierce determination to serve. You take your fear and turn it into awe. You aren't suppressing the river. You are digging a new canal to divert the floodwaters toward the ocean. When you do this, you become, as Krishna describes, friendly and compassionate to all, steady in both happiness and distress. You become stable not because you don't feel, but because your feelings are anchored in something that can never leave you. This stability is called vairagya, detachment. And this is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean you become a cold, unfeeling robot. It means you become like a master surgeon. Imagine a surgeon operating on her own child. Her hands would shake. She would be too attached to the outcome, and she might make a mistake. Now imagine a surgeon operating on a stranger. She cares, she is focused, she is brilliant, but she is detached enough to have steady hands. That is the state Krishna wants for us, to play your role in this life with passion and fire, but with the steady hand of someone who knows that the outcome is not the definition of their worth. You play the role of parent, worker, lover, fully, but you never forget you are the actor, behind the mask. Finally, Krishna gives us the antidote to the isolation of pain: karma, yoga. When we suffer, our world shrinks to the size of our own head. It's a hall of mirrors reflecting our own misery. The fastest way to break the glass is to serve others, to work without selfishness. By working without attachment, one attains the supreme. When you change a diaper, when you write a report, when you listen to a friend, if you do it as an offering, as a sacrifice, rather than a transaction to get something back, you dissolve the ego. And since the ego is the thing that is hurting, your pain dissolves with it. You realize you are part of a massive, interconnected organism. Your little wave merges back into the ocean. This is the promise. Not that life will stop being hard, but that you will stop being fragile. You will become the sage of steady wisdom. You will feel joy without getting intoxicated. You will feel sorrow without getting destroyed. You will walk through the fire and not be burned. So, if you are sitting there right now, feeling shattered, remember, you are not the glass. You are the light shining through it. The glass breaks, the light remains. If you are ready to stop identifying with the wound and start identifying with the healer within, drop a Hare Krishna in the comments. It's a signal to yourself that you are ready to surrender the weight. Share this with someone who needs to know they are unbreakable, because we are all walking each other home.